this case is called basically the Overtown incident that happened. And so this is in Miami. Let me read you what happened here. It's fucking horrific here. So the incident, June 18th, 2025, the Greenhaven Project, urban community garden located in Northwest 11th Street and 2nd Avenue in Overtown neighborhood of Miami, Florida. A 12-year-old girl who was walking home when she was ambushed. The assault lasted for roughly 30 minutes and abruptly ended when the suspects heard the victim's father shouting her name nearby as he searched for her. The defendants, Nelson Nunes, 13 years old, accused of being the primary physical assailant who directly assaulted the victim. Josiah Jones, 12, accused of restraining the victim and actively silencing her. Xavier Johnson, 15, accused of helping restrain the victim. He initially moved out of the state before surrendering to charges. So basically, this is what happened. So this 12-year-old girl is walking home, and these kids are in a community garden. They grab her, and they put her on a couch in the community garden. The 13-year-old rapes her while the 15-year-old holds her down. And they yell at the 12-year-old, hey, she's yelling, silence her. And the 12-year-old's just a kid. He grabs rocks and puts them in her mouth to silence her. And then he says, hey, isn't this rape? And that's how it goes down. Then the father starts yelling, and they let the girl go. The girl goes back to the father. Eventually, she tells the family what happened. The three boys are arrested, and as you know, they're very young, 12, 15, and 13, and they're all tried as adults, and they denied bond for two of them, and just the 12-year-old is out, and he's out on the strictest type of house arrest you can be out on. And they had when they interviewed the victim, they asked the victim if the 12-year-old would have been hurt too if he didn't help the boys, like if he was being like kind of forced to quiet her, and she said yes. She said that they would have hurt him if he didn't help. So that's an interesting twist on it as well. But now you have these boys, 13, 12, and 15. They're in serious trouble. They're facing adult charges, even though that's not what the law states. And they're going to be in the worst prison systems ever. And what do you think about this?
Well, once again, this is highly emotional. It's probably something that's even more emotional than the Sharilla case because of the age of the people involved, and you have rape involved. So, yeah, this is a very, very dicey situation. I'm much like you. I don't have a strong opinion as far as when we try these children as adults. I guess I never thought it through. There's no doubt that when you're making the argument that there's something strange legally about it, that's 100%. I don't know where the statute or the precedent was set that because it emotionally gets us so boiling hot, we just decide as a vigilante culture, try them as adults, because that's what's happening here.
That's what I'm saying too. Pick an age.
So I don't know how that happened.
Pick an age and stick to it, right? I mean,
but I will say this: there's a reason why that happens as well. The juvenile penal system is probably not tough enough. I guess that's what it is, because you have to ask them, why are they trying them like adults? Okay, so we know you want to do that. Well, what are you gaining by doing that? Are they getting more time? Are they going to get hurt more likely in there? So that's the big question, right,
okay,
Pat?
Why
do they want them tried as
adults? Let me ask you this. Ready? Let me throw you a curveball, if you will. Okay.
Right.
So let's change the story. Okay. A 12, a 13, and a 15-year-old white boys from a private school are visiting Overtown to see the garden, and they grab a young 12-year-old black girl that's walking by. They do this crime. Are they tried as adults?
I'm not of the school of thought that just because they're black, they got tried as adults. I think it was the heinousness.
I bet you if we run the data on that, very few white
there's
kids
a chance it may not. And guess what? That may come down to the lawyer that they get too. Just like Sharilla got fucked by her lawyer. If you get someone high powered that can really play a game and make sure that doesn't happen, listen, they're debating that, whether, there's some talk of whether that's how that's going to go. And here's why. Because I think the likelihood of getting the conviction when you try them as adults when they're not adults starts to become a little tougher as well, because you're going after tougher penalties. Once again, the question people have to ask themselves is, why is there this wanting to try them as adults? There's something that's supposed to happen to them as a result. Certainly, the criminals are going to be around. Listen, you talk about getting raped in prison. I can assure you this, that the 12-year-old boy or 13-year-old boy or 15-year-old boy in an all-men's prison, without a doubt, is getting raped. I mean, that's what's scary, too.
So you're telling me for these young boys raping a girl, which is horrific, in their youth, their punishment is a lifetime of rape themselves?
Oh, I never took a side on this. I'm just explaining what's going
on. I'm just saying, that's basically what our system says. I don't think
that's it.
I think that, if you're a kid, kids make mistakes. This is one of the worst mistakes a kid can make. And these kids, no matter what happens to them, they're going to be living with this mistake
Do
for the
you
rest of
think
their
rape
life.
is a
Yeah,
mistake?
it's going to have a huge effect on their life no matter what they do. But I don't know that trying them an adult helps them. I don't know that it helps the victim. I think it makes a bigger scene of the whole thing, which hurts both of them. And I just think this is something that we need like a new set of laws on or whatever. When a youth does something serious needs to happen, but it's not being tied in a cage for the rest of your life around other criminals. I mean, that
Yeah.
can't be the solution for children, can
Well,
it?
no, it's definitely not. But I think that
The one kid is 12 years old.
they're. I think they're almost
That
looking at it like
he's 6 years from
you're
being an adult. 6 years.
if you're 12. All right. So, but let's look at it this way. All right. Let's paint this picture. This is a 12-year-old that, and this isn't 12 when me and you were 12. This is 12 now. These kids are sharp, okay? Let's not play that these kids are stupid. They know exactly what rape is. It's against their will. They knew to shut her mouth, so to stick rocks in it so that they wouldn't get caught. They know what they're doing. Let's make that clear. I think here's a fair question. If this 12-year-old boy is so savage, so fucking cold, that he will rape a girl with his friends and gang rape a girl at 12, what the fuck is he going to do at 19?
Well, I'll tell you what, it doesn't get any better what he's going to do at 19 by putting him in 10 years of adult prison.
I agree with that. I agree with that. But is this someone that we maybe there's no fixing someone like this?
Yeah,
Maybe
no, I
you
agree,
believe
but
that,
I agree. I agree. These people are doing bad things, and these people should be punished. And so, it's
what's the
hard.
proper punishment?
Yeah, it's
Ask the
hard
judge
for
right
me.
now. What should they get?
Well, that's the thing. We don't have it set up, right? And so now
So
you
what do
get into
you
like,
think?
okay, so I think that when people go to prison, they should be taught skills to survive better in life because a lot of this stuff has to do with poverty and things of that nature. So they should be taught skills. And then they should also save money when they're in prison. So instead of working for nothing, there should be a prison wage. Maybe it's not as much as the other people's, but it should be more. And when you get out of prison, you should have enough money to like put down money on a house or survive for a few months on your own or whatever. And so we should be setting people up for success. You should be able to leave prison and be an x-ray technician. You should be able to leave prison and know how to do masonry work. That would be
Yeah,
effective.
you're out of your
We're
fucking
not
you're out of
rehabilitating.
your fucking
Yeah,
gourd.
you can make it so that it's not a pleasure
Listen, that's a
trip,
great
but
utopian
but
ideal.
you can
That
also accomplish things. They do it
we're
in tons of
so
other
far from
countries.
that. We're
They
so
do it
far
in
from
tons
that.
of other countries, dude. What we're doing here is
It's
just
all bad.
what we're doing here is we're training and making better criminals that later get released
Yes.
onto society. And they're in prison so long that they can't maintain their normal fucking like outside skills a lot of times. So we just release monsters on the
It's
community.
I agree. It's awful. It's almost as if it's planned to be that way. Like they want the monsters in the street so that honest people like yourself and me, whatever, God forbid we cross paths with that.
Well,
God forbid that
it
was
plays into
your
the
niece.
corporation thing, then there's a high recidivism rate and they go back to prison and they make more money.
But here, my question to you again is, Pat's the judge. Here's the case in front of you, or you're a juror, or whatever. You obviously think they should be tried as minors. How many years should they get? I'm just curious. It's not a debate. I'm just curious. People are listening to this podcast and they're
The
saying,
rape kids,
"Wow, he wants them not as adults." What should they get for this crime?
I would say probably they should get 5 years of some kind of juvenile stuff and then another heavy 5 years of probation. And that puts them deep into their teens or into their 20s. And then they should, be, released onto like back into like a normal life plan. But mostly what they need is, heavy counseling and heavy leadership, and they need to be developing skills to put them in prison for 10 years, take them out of the school system, take them out of social environments. It doesn't really hold them accountable. What it really does is it just punishes them deeply. And I guess there's a need for deep punishment, but there's a higher need for society to rehabilitate people to become better people. And I think a lot of these people that commit crimes as kids could have a nice life as an adult, just given certain scenario. And I think that white kids commit these same crimes. They just don't get in trouble as much, or they get washed under
Well,
the
maybe
rug,
so,
or
but
they get like
I
released.
think
Bro, do you know how many
it's
like
pretty.
do you know how much like white
Gang rape
kids?
at 12 years old is pretty rare, bro. That
Oh,
makes the
are you
papers
kidding me? I
everywhere.
think white kids are gang raping chicks left and right.
They're not getting caught maybe in this manner. Yes,
Yeah.
could it happen at a party and
It's
nothing
not
happens?
happened outside at a yeah, it's happened at a
Well,
party
there's the
in a
mistake you
mansion.
made, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, you do something in your bedroom, you ain't gonna get caught. You do it at a fucking bench in an apartment complex. I mean, use your fucking heads, stupid dummies. Here's the side news. This is how fucking stupid they are that maybe we shouldn't exactly like play a violin for them. If you were gonna do something so heinous, maybe plan it out a little better and do it under some seclusion. Not that I'm trying to give anybody any advice.
Yeah, I don't think the world needs your rape tips.
So at the end of the day, they are going to be tried as adults. they are going to get a lot of time. They did this to a black girl. There's no racial, way to swing this one. This was, I think, Latin. There were some of the kids were Latin. I think Nunez is the last name of one of them. So I think you had Hispanic and black on a black girl. I mean, listen, like anyone would say, if this was your niece, you'd want to go and kill them yourselves. Like, how would you not want to decapitate them, whatever? Or so once it hits you personally, but remember this, Hammurabi's code, an eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth. If you steal, they cut your hand off. There's been many societies when what they view crimes or things that they find that are out of bounds, they do very serious measures. And you're right, this is a very serious measure.
I think that America needs to, and this is what I'll leave it on. I think America needs to have a reckoning, and it's sad that we're not organized enough to have a legal reckoning on this. But we need to start to consolidate some of these ideas. And I'll give you an example. You could drive at 16, you can go to war at 18, but you can't drink to 21. You can be tried as an adult at 12, even though the law says it. So we need to kind of go through this. Like, kids are maturing earlier, they're getting more and more authority earlier. Some of them have successful online careers at young ages and whatever, but then they're also young maturity wise. And so, like, how are we going to handle this? And the criminal justice system needs to adjust, dude. It needs to adjust, top to bottom, obviously, because the whole thing is archaic and it's not working, but especially around these youth cases, we need a new plan, and there needs to be some new rules, and they need to make sense. There should probably be one age for adult. Look, when you turn 16 in America, or 17 or 18, whatever it is going to be, you can go to war, you can drive, you can also legally be tried as an adult. Let's get one age. When are you an adult? When are you not an adult?
Yeah. Listen.
And then you can't change it just because you're salty about a case either. Like, enough of this shit.
Tried as an adult. Let me read this to you. AI overview, because I was going to look up to see some other cases here. Being tried as an adult, in quotes, means that a minor, usually under 18, is prosecuted in the adult criminal justice system. So it's not just the prison system, it's the actual court system as well, instead of the juvenile court. This happens when a judge or prosecutor determines that the crime is severe enough to warrant adult penalties, rather than the rehabilitative focus of juvenile courts. So that's right up everything you just said. There's no real precedent here. It's somebody's hunch. It's somebody's
bullshit. I'm so tired of people's hunches. Just like you used AI, you put AI on it. Let AI decide if that's what you're going to do. Because I trust AI over people's
that's going to happen one day.
Hunches, or your country fried judge, or your other fucking lawyer's ability. Like, all that shit sucks, dude. I would way rather have it that we just set the rules and we stick by like adults. I don't know how we go down this road of letting people change the law based on how they feel.
I mean, listen to this.
This is my last two opinions. Free Mackenzie. Don't try these boys in Miami as adults. That's what I'm sticking to.
Well, that's he's got strong opinions, folks. Please let us know your comments.
Mackenzie should be out on time served already. They put that poor girl and their family through hell.
I've actually seen a couple of the emails that Pat sent Mackenzie, and I got to tell you, these were hot. They were
still waiting for a response.
She gets a lot of it. Don't think it has anything to do with you, brother. She's sifting through a lot of them. She only gets 2 hours.
I'm sure she'll respond when she gets to it.
Yeah, of course. But these were hot. Not just the photos he sent, but the poems and all that shit. It was pretty cool. But listen, this is exactly everything that's wrong here. So it says here, why does this happen? Which I said also, minors are typically tried in juvenile courts to prioritize rehabilitation and education. You would think that's a good thing. So we're taking that away. And you said, acknowledging that their brains are still developing. However, courts transfer them to adult courts based on several criteria: severity of crime, criminal history, age, maturity. So that's how they break it down. But imagine it says
real reason is media attention, color of skin, amount of money family has.
Well, yeah, I mean, those are probably they're all kind of uniform when you talk about Overtown.
Yeah. Mackenzie is the first white girl to be tried as an adult for fucking ages. And that's just because she had like a social media presence they could weaponize against her.
Yeah. And again, when she has the judge that was a bulldog and the prosecutor that was a bulldog. I
I'll tell
don't
you
think
what,
you know.
where the fuck is Meta at this? Where the hell is TikTok on this? They're gonna let these prosecutors and shit weaponize social media against young children. I mean, they're stupid. Meta should have funded her fucking defense, to be honest with you. Like, they're stupid to let these prosecutors start to use social media dances and Halloween pictures out of context like that. It's not good for social media. It's not good for Meta. And it just shows how out of touch Mark Zuckerberg is building his bunker.
Well, I want you to.
The CEOs of social media are such a bunch of fucking pussies.
Yeah, well, that's a given. You look at their last names. I'm gonna make your head spin, and then I'm gonna make your ears steam, and then it's gonna fly right off your neck. This is just Google, and we'll end on this note. News, tried as an adult. First story 2 days ago. Prosecutor files murder charge against 14-year-old boy in downtown deadly shooting from Fox 59, some affiliate. Wants to be tried as an adult. Minors could be tried as adults with new law in Mississippi. Next story. No black juror selected for murder trial killing Texas High. Another boy who's being tried as an adult is Carmelo Anthony. I think we're going to possibly do something on that. DA recommends teen suspect accused of stabbing 3 horses be tried as an adult. Now it's not even people. He stabbed 3 horses and they want to do this. Are you getting angry yet? I mean, it's the first 5 and they're all different
Dude, it's a
stories.
fucking joke. Okay, obviously this is the new trend. Is try everyone like an adult. The prosecutors like it or whatever. It's absurd.
I can't believe
But
it.
so this is the society that we live in. Okay, if you are a child and you commit a crime, you're going to be tried as an adult. Your family is going to be destroyed. You're going to be destroyed. All of your messages to your family and stuff is going to put out there. We're going to do whatever we can to destroy you and your family. But if you're an adult who raids the Capitol, beats up and kills police officers, we're going to give you a presidential pardon and we're going to give you millions of dollars. So we live in a society now where the children overpay for crimes and the adults don't get convicted of any crimes. We're sitting in a society right now where we all know that Bill Gates had relations with underage kids, where he gave his wife drugs without her being known so that he could try to get rid of an STD he gave her from an escort. He has never been tried with a crime. He is sitting in broad public right now. But yet these kids who make a mistake while they're young, they deserve the full brunt of the law. Give me a fucking break.
It's a very, very fascinating take. Hey, listen, nobody says he didn't have a bleeding heart, folks. He bleeds for these children. It really is.
Bro,
So
I'm a child of crime. We're all childs of crime. Who hasn't committed crimes in their youth? Like, give
no,
me a
it is
break.
very fascinating, and I've surprised myself with this Google search.
I spent my whole childhood doing community service. You know what I mean? And thank
Yeah,
God I lived in a community that didn't throw the book at me and treated me like a child.
it was a different time then. You're right. We're bloodthirsty, man. Like you said, we love to raise them up to knock them down. It's like bowling culture, you
Yeah.
know. The
And
pins go up and you bowl them down.
there's so many disgruntled people because the middle class has been hollowed out, whatever, that they see a girl like Mackenzie who's having a good life, who's attractive, who's enjoying herself, who's bragging about it on social media, and they want to tear her down. And that's the culture that we have created here in America. We have created a toxic culture that is not going to lead us to success in the next century. In fact, it's probably going to lead to China's taking over the world.
Well, understand this. There's a reason why this is happening, in my opinion, too. And I consider myself a college professor level armchair sociologist. When we were starting to get entertained, no longer by stars and movie stars that were unattainable, but that we were getting entertained by reality TV stars. The magazines were focusing more and more on what they looked like in their regular lives and this and that. And now with social media stars and influencers and just regular people, because that's what all they are. They're just like you and me. They're laymen's. They're not the Tom Cruises and the Julia Roberts, whatever. We really go after them because they're in our pool with us. Tom Cruise is in a different pool, and Robert De Niro's in a different pool, and Ben Stiller's in a different pool. But these stars, the reality stars, and now the influencers, the YouTube stars, the TikTok stars, the Sharillas online, whatever it is, people really get their claws into them.
It's interesting, yeah, because
I
they're
mean,
on
do you
our
agree with
level.
that? Like,
They're
they're
on
on our
our level.
level.
The elites have separated so far that they're on private jets, they're on resorts, and they have huge walls around it. We don't even see the elite class anymore. It's not like the old days where you'd see the Rat Pack at the golf course. It's not like that anymore. So we live in a new age where the elites are so far away that if you come out of local level celebrity and you're like a reality star or an influencer, that yeah, the people will be very happy to eat you. But the people don't really have access to a Tom Cruise anymore to like eat him or whatever. So that's why celebs can do very weird things and get away with it, and they never get held accountable. I mean, you have to think about about a guy like Bill Gates. He has money like a country. He has planes and all kinds of other stuff. He can be or live in any nation he wants. He probably has houses in multiple nations. How is a U.S. government official even supposed to track him down, arrest him, question him, any of that stuff? And then he has the ability to go to like the president, have a sidebar with him, say, hey, you were Epstein's buddy too. Whatever you need money for, just let me know. Oh, you need money for your library? You need money for your ballroom? Here's 10 million. Get this Epstein shit off my back. It's a done deal, dude. And that, my friends, is a sign of corruption from bottom to top. The children are going to jail for nothing, and the adults aren't getting tried for serious crimes. That is not good.
To this point, not one person has gone to jail over Epstein. And I want to leave us on this note, too. I don't know if you watched the Netflix documentary with Michael Jackson's verdict, but one of the things I reflected on is exactly what you talked about. I watched this, and I do remember it faintly, but they went after this guy so hard for child molestation, and there was definitely some smoke there. We don't even have to get into whether you think he did it or not. This is my point, though. All these people with Epstein, and nobody's going after any of them. But man, Michael Jackson, who molested people the same way these Epstein people were molested and all that, they went down on him. They brought the hammer on this guy, and it's just very interesting. I guess he just wasn't in the club, whatever. But I found it strange as I reflected on it that all these Epstein people, like you said, Bill Gates and the like, and Trump and Bill Clinton, whatever, and no one's doing nothing to them.
Michael Jackson wasn't in the club. He could have he hung out with children and he built a children's park and whatever. If he had a private island and he hung out with politicians, he wouldn't be in as much trouble.
Yeah, that's probably true. Yeah, and it destroyed him.
Well, now that I'm thoroughly disgusted with the world that we live in, I think I'll have a nice Sunday.
So folks, SFL.media, we'll cut this up into clips. And listen, this is again, we don't just talk war, we don't just talk aliens. We try to keep it topical as well. Miss Sharilla, we wish you the best.
Free Mackenzie.
In there. Pat loves you. Kisses.
Free Mackenzie. Stop trying children as adults, you fucking weird ass prosecutors.
Yeah, and those Overtown 3. Good luck, guys. I don't think they're gonna beat the rap on this one, and I think it's gonna be a very, very terrible existence for them. They'll probably have to be kept in solitary, because I think they're gonna be. You talk about little fish in the pond. I mean, holy.
Imagine being 12, 13, 15, and you're in a maximum security Florida prison. What's that life?
You're a girl. You're a sex doll.
And is your rape worth being tortured the way that you're going to be tortured there? And on top of that, if you're an adult that rapes somebody and you go to like some fucking cushy prison for like 5 years and you're out in 3 in California, like how is that fair for these kids? Like,
no, it's a definite nightmare. And
you're better off in this country. I'll tell you this right now. You're better off to hold all your criminality in you till you're an adult in this country. Because once you're an adult, you can do all the crimes you want and nobody cares. But if you're a kid, you're going to go to prison.
Yeah, listen, let's hope that they have cereal in prison. These kids are going to need it.
Bro, look at George Santos or whatever the fuck that guy's name is. He's out in the middle of all sorts of whole new set of crimes. Yeah, he's gone to jail for crimes. He's out. He's got all new crimes going on.
It's hard to make sense of the legal system. Let's just put it that way. It is one of the worst things that this country has going on. We don't pay attention to it because the average American is not wrapped up in it. But for a country that on record has the most prisoners of any country in the world, an antiquated system, certainly not on rehabilitation.
Bro, with our shitty ass justice system, you should be able to get a law degree at community college. If this is what the system's going to be, then just let community college kids be lawyers. Like, what the fuck are we acting like this high snooty system? You're telling me that lawyers need to go to school for an extra 4 years to sentence people to get fucked in the ass? That's what they need to go to college for.
Well, Mackenzie Sharilla's lawyer got his degree at a community college.
The entire American legal system is a fucking joke at this point. It's a joke.
He's got a strong opinion, folks. SFL.media. We're going to wrap this one up before it really gets off the rails. This is serious stuff, folks. These are children, so we're interested in what you think.
Jokes for us, serious for those families.
Yeah, it's not a good thing. SFL.media, you know the website. All right, hush your mouth.